to the hot topic of the hour. An upset for Nikki Haley in Nevada last night, losing the primary to no one. Almost 63% of Republican primary voters selected none of these candidates instead of selecting Haley. Her campaign team trying to soften the blow. Watch.
We have not spent a dime nor an ounce of energy on Nevada. We made the decision early on that we were not going to pay $55,000 to a Trump entity that, to participate in a process that was rigged for Trump.
Former President Trump's name was not on the Nevada primary ballot. Instead, he will take part in the caucuses tomorrow. President Biden, meanwhile, took the win for Nevada for the Democrat Party. Amber, your reaction?
Well, this is a symbolic victory for Trump more than anything else because, of course, the New Hampshire GOP decided that they were going to have a caucus, or excuse me, Nevada GOP decided they were going to have a caucus as opposed to a primary. So she wouldn't be able to win delegates in the primary anyway, Nikki Haley, that is. Her team, it's kind of funny to hear them complain about $55,000, by the way, considering the millions they spent to come in second and third in Iowa and New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's a good point. But look, I mean, this is not nothing. Cheryl, this is 26 delegates.
It is 26 delegates. And to be clear, voting for nobody on the ballot, it was all a vote for Trump. And by the way, there was a huge push in Nevada by his supporters to do exactly what they accomplished yesterday, because this is a statement that we are for Donald Trump. We are not for Nikki Haley in this state, to be clear. So I understand why they avoided it. I understand the delegate issue, but at the same time, and look, she never went. So, I mean, are we surprised? No, but I think it shows you the power of the Trump apparatus at work right now, because remember, it's not just Donald Trump, it is everybody else that is supporting his campaign. And this does show that there's a very strong game going on underneath him.
Next stop, South Carolina.
And you wonder how many losses Nikki Haley needs to absorb before she realizes this just isn't a productive use of time or money, or even for the Republican Party. I mean, right? She lost double digits in Iowa, then New Hampshire. Now we're finding Nevada, and it's about to be South Carolina. The fact also that she didn't spend a dime, or that her campaign didn't spend a dime in Nevada, how insulting to anyone who lives in Nevada.
The other big story, you mentioned the Republican Party. Sources tell me that former President Trump asked Ron McDaniel to step down right after my interview with the president last week, as the RNC is struggling financially and has not done anything to prove that they are doing something to ensure a fair and free election this November. President Trump told me Sunday changes are coming to the RNC, and I'm told that the president acted right after our interview, asking Ronna to step down. Here's President Trump with me on Sunday. Watch. The RNC doesn't seem to be so strong. I mean, the Democrats have all the money. Look at what we see. We got the Democrats actually with the money and spending it. The RNC seeking credit lines. The RNC reported its lowest bank balance at the point in any year in 2016. Comerica says the Michigan GOP defaulted on a loan of $500,000.
So I have a lot of money, and the money that they get, people are not looking at the RNC. They want changes. You have to understand, I have nothing to do with the RNC. I'm separate.
How's Ronna McDaniel doing?
I think she did great when she ran Michigan for me. I think she did okay initially in the RNC. I would say right now there'll probably be some changes made.
And those changes are being made. Now, the RNC says nothing has changed and that this will be decided after South Carolina. But, Cheryl, the writing's on the wall. It appears Ronna McDaniel is out after South Carolina.
There is a large chorus of Republicans, powerful ones and everyday Republicans, that are ready to see Ronna McDaniel go. In particular, let's go back to 2022 and the red wave that became a red puddle, and that a lot of blame goes on her because she didn't support, and financially, to your point with Donald Trump, financially did not support a lot of down ballot races. She made a lot of mistakes, and she takes a lot of the blame for 2022.
Now, to her credit, she did say recently President Trump is going to be the candidate. And that's the bottom line, even while, Nikki Haley is still there fighting another day. But apparently, I had a line of questioning for the president about the RNC, and he didn't have a lot of answers in terms of what the RNC is doing ahead of the November election, Amber.
That's right. And a lot of outside groups have actually taken up that cause of trying to secure elections because they feel the RNC hasn't been doing enough. And by the way, one of the reasons Ron has been able to survive this long is because of Trump's help with fundraising. It was that joint fundraising committee that led to so much of the RNC's influx of cash. As soon as their finances were separated, she proved that she wasn't up to it.
Yeah. What do you think?
RNC needs to focus on local races that are winnable so that Republicans can get back to having majorities in both houses.
Yeah, that's a good point.